Welcome to the Leaderish Podcast, leadership lessons straight up, with your hosts, Dr. Jen and Regina. Hey, Jen, how's it going?
Hey, Regina. It's wonderful. It's Friday. I'm dragging a little bit today, but it's all good. How are you?
I am doing very well, of course. I'm not one to really be doing bad very often. Lots of really awesome things happening right now.
Good. And you're feeling better.
I am. I wasn't feeling really great this week. So I can still feel, I can hear it in my voice a little, but I feel fine. I got some really great sleep, which I think is why I'm feeling good. My kids got good sleep. We're doing great around here in the Towdy house.
You know what? That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleep, I did not get much sleep because Tom and I took my 76-year-old parents to see Jimmy Buffett last night, and we had so much fun.
Hey, Jen, what's your favorite Jimmy Buffett song?
Oh my gosh. So A Pirate Looks at 40 is definitely, it's like the last song of every Jimmy Buffett concert. So that's one of them. Also, Tom Purdom is turning 40 next week. So I sang it to him.
Nice.
Tom Purdom, my pirate. And One Particular Harbor is also one of my favorite songs. What about you?
Oh gosh. It is a toss-up between Cheeseburger in Paradise and Fins. I mean, like the whole crowd when they're doing fins to the left, fins to the right. Like there is something about
which we just did.
And I know. Yeah. I wish we should probably start doing like the YouTube version of our podcast.
Should. We both just did fins.
We totally just did it while I was singing poorly. Yeah.
I think I love both of those songs as well. I know every song or every word to almost every, popular and some obscure songs. They were so excited to be doing live music again. It was fun to see them have fun on stage. And they talked about it several times. And Mac McAnally played with Jimmy the whole night. He was like a big songwriter in Nashville. I think he's won like 10 Grammys. He wrote 5 o'clock somewhere. So they played that. And then he also wrote the Kenny Chesney song Back Where I Come From, which is one of my favorite songs. So he played that last night too. Oh, it's just so good.
So I've actually seen him. My niece attended an inclusive daycare in Franklin, Tennessee called High Hopes. And it's actually a nonprofit daycare. They take kids with special needs. It's very hard to find a daycare for kids with special needs. They do all their therapies. The place is unbelievably amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And so when she was there every year, and I don't know if they still do it, they did an event where they would bring in local songwriters. The songwriters would sing their songs. And I am 98.7% sure that Mac McAnally was in there.
It's very specifically strong percentage. So I think he was definitely there.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 2.3% chance that he wasn't, but I'm going to go with the 97.98, whatever number it was. I don't know.
We don't have to do math. We don't have to do math.
It's hard.
This is our podcast.
Jen. Yeah, no math. Thank you.
Anyway, it was great. Great to see live music, which is why I'm drinking what I am today. So time for the drink of the day segment. At some point, we're going to get back to alcohol. We have to. But
we do.
For today, what is in your cup?
Well, I had a tea. As you know, I did run to the Sonic to get my tea with the peach flavoring in it, and it was delicious. But I downed that pretty quick, so I've just filled it back up with water. I'm so boring.
I mean, next time we have to have a fun drink.
Okay. I already know what it's going to be.
Okay. Oh, I wait with anticipation. I am finishing my venti Starbucks latte. It is not a flat white this time. It is an iced latte. And I need every ounce of it today. And I'm going to do nothing this weekend almost. So I can't wait.
That iced latte is a good idea.
Yum.
Well, the water is delicious today. I'm loving it. I think it's because during so much of lockdown, um, my liver was crisped from all of the alcohol I drank.
Oh,
And when we started this, we were starting to kind of come out of that. And I think I was realizing that I drink a lot, which is a great kind of segue into what we're talking about today
that's
and kind
very
of
true.
how we got to where we are.
You know what's interesting? And I've heard a lot of people say this. It feels like, I mean, we were in the pandemic, in quarantine,
Mhm.
in this amount of fear and uncertainty for so long.
Yes.
And in some ways, it feels like we flipped a switch and like life is back to normal in some ways. And in some ways, it
Some.
doesn't. Like last night being at a concert, it's like you take a moment and realize, because every time they would say, oh my gosh, we've been really wanting to be back out and play music. And they must have said 10 times throughout the concert, like, I can't believe we're playing live music again. And you get back to normal a little bit and you experience something and you're having a blast. And then you remember, oh yeah, this is Nashville. And there have been no live shows for a year.
Yeah.
It's so
Actually, more than that.
yeah, more than that. So it's
Right.
so strange.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You're a big reader. So have you ever, like, you're reading a book, you're enjoying that book, and you read a page and you're like, what did I just read? And then you read it over again and you still really don't know what you read?
Oh my gosh. Yes, that happens to me. It's because my brain just, I start thinking about something else, even though I'm still kind of reading.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, wait a minute, what just happened? Or occasionally, now getting back to pandemic habits and alcohol, occasionally, if I would read in the evening and I had a glass of wine, then the next night, I would go to read and I'm like,
I don't know what
I
happened. Why
don't,
am I here?
yeah, how did we get here? I'm unsure what is happening. Let me go back a page. Okay, let me go back 2 pages. That was wine related, but it does happen non-wine related.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of what I want to talk about, like those missed spaces, that blah feeling, like you're doing life, but you don't really process what you're doing.
Like going through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going through the motions, but you're not all in. You're not all there. You're not fully engaged. You do the motions, but you're just not always present for those motions.
Now, we're talking about reading, so I think I know the answer to this question, but do you feel like that is professionally or personally or both or one more than the other?
I think it's happened to me over the last year in both, probably more professionally than it has personally.
Yeah, I definitely feel it a little bit more professionally sometimes. I've always, I guess I've always thought of it as, for me personally, Zoom and virtual meetings and virtual work has a lot to do with it because I've had a couple in person offsites, on sites, is that what we call them now? I don't
I
know,
don't know.
but I've had a couple meetings where people get together and it's so invigorating and so engaging. And you're
Mhm.
like, oh, you're not one dimensional. You have like a 3-dimensional head. You know what I mean? It's just funny that I don't know. I think it's exhausting and easy to disengage virtually more so than in
Mhm.
person.
Mhm. Yeah. That disengagement that you felt and this re-engagement, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. We decided that we were going to talk about the term languishing, and that term is really about kind of that blah feeling that you feel. I kind of equate it to like dulled motivation, a dull engagement. You're not all in, you're kind of in, or maybe you're just going through the emotions, but you're not in at all, but you're still functioning. So it's not depression. It's not where you're shutting down. It's not anxiety where you're filled with worry and fear. It is disengagement. It's the best way that I can explain it.
Yeah, but it's not disengagement like I thought of it previously. Because this word languishing has been popping up on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn articles, and there's webinars and some things. So it's been popping up. And what I find very interesting about what I've seen anyway is previously when I thought about disengagement, there was like a root cause. It was like, I'm burnout, I'm
Mm-hmm.
disengaged,
Right.
I'm, something has happened, I'm disengaged, I'm frustrated, I'm disgruntled, whatever.
I'm upset. Yeah, sure.
There's a reason for it. But here it seems to be just general fatigue from
Mm-hmm.
the last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And there, Adam Grant, if you haven't checked it out, wrote a New York Times article a couple months ago. It's titled, There's a Name for That Blah You're Feeling. It's called Languishing. And Adam describes languishing as a sense of stagnation and emptiness.
Stagnation.
Yeah. And so stagnation, I think the way I would define it is you don't feel like you're moving forward. You just feel stuck. And the emptiness is that dull, blah feeling. There's little joy, right? The small things that may have given you joy, an email from a coworker or even a meeting, a one-on-one with someone you really enjoy meeting with, they don't give you the joy that they did, like they used to.
I would agree with that. I still think part of it is virtual for fatigue for
Yeah,
me, and so
sure.
it may be for others as well. That stagnation and emptiness. That's interesting. And
Mm.
it does kind of feel like that. It's again, now that I've seen kind of the juxtaposition between going back, even just a couple times, going back
Yeah.
into the office and meeting with people, and then going right back to my desk and my computer for days, I definitely feel the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I know that I'm excited to get back into the office. I've been back to the office several times and it's been awesome. I haven't been able to see my team as much as I would like. And we've got some personal situations. Our company is great about letting us kind of choose our path back, right? So we have some personal situations where I haven't actually seen face to face some of my team members in, well, actually, it's been a couple years because restarted my role a year ago. Actually, a year ago, I think this week is when I came back to the role that I'm currently in with this team. And I have some team members that I have not seen face to face once.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is unbelievable. And for me too, I kind of switched roles, not kind of, I did switch roles a
Right around
year.
the same time I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I now have large groups of clients that I've worked with for over a year that I've never met in person.
Right. Isn't that odd? I know a couple weeks ago I was sitting in the office and a gentleman that I have had many video calls with, he stops and he looks at me for a second and he tilts his head and he's like, Regina? I'm like, Zach. He's like, I didn't know if you know who I was. I was like, I know who you are.
Isn't that going to be so strange when we all go back? It's like, been working with you forever, never
Yeah.
met you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so
Odd.
interesting. And so back to kind of this feeling of languishing. I think we have a lot of folks that are stuck here. And I think the reason why is because when we started the pandemic, we were in fear mode, right? And we were kind of driven by fear. And then we kind of got through that because you can only live in fear for so long. And so now you're kind of living in this steady state of stress. Wow, say that 3 times fast. You're in this steady state of stress, and you're challenged to kind of get out of that. And I think even now, as we're opening back up and we do get to see our teams and the people that we work with face to face, it's almost unfamiliar on how do we do this. And I remember I hugged one of a team member, and I remember walking up to him. We had a face-to-face meeting, and I gave him a hug, and I was like, okay, so I don't normally hug you. Like a year ago, I wouldn't have hugged you if we were in a meeting together. And by the way, when do we stop hugging? He's like, I don't care, just give me a hug. I'm like, yes, that's the spirit.
Oh, I absolutely love that story. That is incredible. And that is, I do think that's what it's going to be like when we all get back together again, formally, and when it's permanent, even though we'll have, plenty of flexibility. But when we're regularly together again, I do think it'll be like a joyous occasion, to use one of my values. I do think it will be full of joy. But again, there's this element of, but how do we do this again? Like,
Yeah.
the world has changed so drastically. I think we'll be studying it for decades.
Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty into this new area that we're moving towards. And I mean, I think I've come out of languishing, which is why I feel comfortable talking about it now. I don't think 3 or 4 months ago, well, 4 months ago, I didn't even know what the term meant. 2 months ago, when I learned what the term meant, I don't know that I was ready to talk about it so much because I was deep into it. And I wouldn't say I was disgruntled. I wouldn't say that I was frustrated or mad. I would say that my give a flip was kind of gone. Like nothing was really important. Nothing was important to fight for or to stick up for or to advocate for. It was just like, meh. That's a great way to describe it. Meh.
I was just going to say, meh is the perfect way to describe languishing.
Yeah.
And you
But
almost cursed, and it made me really happy, by the way.
but we are a clean podcast, which
I
is very
cursed.
hard for me to do.
Me too.
Because I like the big words. I like the real big words. They're actually really short words, but they have big meaning.
Yes, they do.
So I think now that I've kind of come past this languishing point in my life, I feel like I can talk about it because now I know how to get through it. I don't think 2 months ago I could tell anyone how to get through it, but things like seeing people, giving someone a hug that's not in your house every day, those things create crazy amounts of energy and joy. It's so silly. It's such a silly little thing. A hug.
It's not a silly little thing, though. And I think when I think of languishing at work, I think of, when I'm in the office when we were in the office previously, if I were to work with a leader or a team on something, I would have in-person conversations to really get a
Mhm.
feel for, what they were looking for. I would solution it. We would meet in person to do the thing, whatever the thing is. And then I would also be around to see it impact, to see how it impacts the team. I would have, like, I wouldn't just be sitting behind my computer hearing feedback every now and then. I would
Right.
be seeing people and talking to people. So I would be seeing the impacts of my work.
Yep.
And now I'm not. I mean, I'm hearing what I can hear. I'm getting feedback, but it's different. And so that, for me anyway, like there's no like full on in-person follow through. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, here's the solution. And yes, I'm excited about it. But then that excitement kind of drops once it's
Yeah.
over and solutioned and done. And so I think that's a bit of it for me. Everything is very one-sided because it has to be. And so I think that's where I'm not going to say lack of engagement because I'm super engaged still, but it's a different version of engagement.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that I've gotten all my engagement back. I actually feel probably more engaged right now than I did maybe like right before the pandemic. I feel like I'm in it to win it right now. I'm in it to win it for my team. Like I want to do what's best for them. I think I've been coaching better. I think I've been collaborating better, but I had I had to be very specific about those things. Like I had to call those out and I had to tell myself, you're doing this halfway, Regina. Like you've got to get in the game. You have to re-engage. I had to have some pretty hard talks with myself because I was letting other people down, I think, especially my team, and the leaders that I support, right? Like, I think I was letting them down because I wasn't giving them what they needed because I didn't have it to give.
But remember, interestingly, this one-time deal in the world, we're all in the same place at the same time. Like what I find fascinating is that we're all experiencing all of these phases of this that you talked about. So in the beginning, when one person goes through something, they're experiencing it alone. But it's
Mhm.
such a strange thing for all of us to be going through all of this together. So in the beginning, you said it was fear. Then it was because we didn't even know. It's like, is the world going to die? Like
Right.
what's going to happen? And then once we learned a little bit more, it was, you heard the new normal 8,000 times a day
Ugh.
around, you know, okay, we're in a place where we're waiting for a vaccine. We have a path forward. So create your life the way you can and be safe. And so we were all in that space. Then the vaccine started happening. And so it's just a weird thing where we're all going through this together. So
Mhm.
when you say you didn't have it to give, likely your leaders didn't either.
That's absolutely right. And maybe I feel a little bit of pressure on myself because in my role as a developer of leaders, that I am the one that is supposed to be the one that's engaged and helping other people get re-engaged and reinvigorated and re-energized, right? And there was a lot of guilt there too because I wasn't able to do that, nor quite frankly were they really asking for it, but they needed it and I knew I couldn't give it.
Right. I felt the same way. I really did. It was definitely more feeling like I was doing my job rather than the normal me and you, which is, getting people excited about things
Yes,
and bringing impact. So you got out of it by what I'm hearing you say is talking yourself through it and out of
I,
it.
I did.
What does Adam Grant say in the article for how to overcome it?
There are things that he mentions about like, working out, getting a routine, don't stay up all night, binge watching. I happen to be binge watching Manifest right now, but don't stay up all night watching Manifest. Instead, make sure you're getting enough sleep. You're not drinking too much. You're getting out. You're exercising. You're still moving. You're not sedentary, right? That you are engaging. But the thing that helped me the most is that he said that you've really got to call it out. Like you need to notice, you need to recognize if you're meh. You have to recognize it. Nobody else really is going to recognize your meh. You have to do it. You have to talk yourself out of it.
So many times on this podcast, and this is a lesson for me that I want to remember. So many times what we talk about on the podcast, the importance is giving language to something and giving voice to something. We've talked about that a lot, and it's true here too. And that's so true. Because if you give it a voice, if you give it language, if you talk about it, then that creates awareness, and then you can see what that awareness does and do something about it where maybe you wouldn't if you didn't. Because, most of us, we're just going to bury that and keep trucking forward,
Right.
which doesn't work, by the way.
No, it doesn't. And, we talked about that a lot when we talked about saboteurs, right? We talked about calling out your saboteur and talking to yourself and saying, hey, you need to shut up, pleaser. Like, get out of here. And having that conversation with yourself and dismissing your saboteur. And so it's kind of the same thing here, except kind of opposite, right? It's calling out your disengagement, calling out your meh, and then saying, hey, I'm going to find joy in this. Hey, Joy, where are you? Come on, Joy, get in here. I need you right now.
I love that. And that's such a helpful tool because it's something it's tangible. You can do it. You can take action. And then, getting your system, like revving up your system to get excited. That doesn't sound right at all.
I like it. Rev up your system, man. Go for it. Rev it.
But like taking a walk, exercising, getting sleep, which not having to go into the office, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to stay up till midnight and I can sleep till 7 and I can get 7 hours of sleep and sit at my desk at 8 and be fine. But we're shortchanging ourselves.
I just realized that it was about 6 weeks ago when I started going to bed earlier and not staying up until 11 or 12, but I went back to my 10 a.m. and I reset my alarm to wake me up at 6 o'clock every morning. Wow. That, like, light bulbs just went off all around me. That's around the time I feel like I started to come out of this, that getting back to my old routine and getting up, moving, enjoying my cup of coffee, being at my desk before 7:30, dropping my kids off at camp by 7. Okay, I might be a bad mom for that, but still it's what I had to do. And then wrapping up my day at a regular time, 4:30 or 5, going to get my kids, having some good time with them in the afternoon. Also, oh my gosh, another realization. I pretty much gave up social media. The only social media that I do is for our podcast. And once in a blue moon, I'll Instagram a picture, but I don't actually scroll through Facebook or Instagram. And that probably happened a little bit sooner than me going to bed at a regular time and getting up earlier. I wonder if all of that has something to do with it. I'm interested if anybody listening has had that kind of experience where they've given up social media or reset their bedtime ritual or their getting up ritual and they've seen a change in their meh.
I love that. And number one, you're an amazing mom. Don't ever say that again. But
7 a.m. drop off, baby.
Love it. But I mean, he said that in the article and you started doing that, maybe not even intentionally or consciously because of the article. People sometimes, myself included, underestimate, go to bed early, drink water, get sleep. Obviously, those are not like just simple things to do, but the impact they can have on you is tremendous, especially with languishing.
Absolutely. And if you're a leader, then part of your mission in life is to also care for others. That is what leadership is. It is caring for others. And if you're not caring for yourself, how could you possibly care for others? So take an inventory, step back. You're listening right now. In the next 24 hours, think about what inventory you need to take and what big changes you've made in your life and how that's impacting everyone around you, the teams that you work with, the people that you lead, your friends and your family, and think about what the result of those changes has been, and then make a change. Make one.
I am listening to you right now and I'm going to do it.
What change are you going to make? What change?
I'm going to start going to bed earlier. I think I'm going to
Okay.
start going to bed earlier. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Tom Burden will be so happy. Sometimes he goes to bed and gets up, like to use the restroom or get water or something. And he'll look over at me and I'm still sitting there with my Kindle, like right here. And it's like 10:30, 11:30. And he's like, what are you doing?
Go to bed, woman.
I know. So he'll be thrilled.
Wonderful. I think that's awesome.
Me too.
Huh. All right. So, Jen, I think you might have just told us what you're going to do to fill your cup. What
True.
have you done over the last week to fill your cup besides the amazing concert?
Obviously Jimmy Buffett and, me and Tom and my 76-year-old parents singing at the top of our lungs. So fun. So that was great. Pilates, just like Mr. Adams says in the article, like it is just so important to me right now. I go there, I see people, and I have an amazing workout, and it's wonderful. I did that today. So I
I'm
keep
so
doing
proud of
that.
you.
Thank you. And then tomorrow, a friend and I are going to Pilates, and then we are going to the Thistle Farms Cafe,
Yes.
and we are going to have high tea and like finger sandwiches and scones and all the things.
And then buy all the things too, because Thistle Farms supports an amazing charity. It's all handmade by the women that they have rescued. What a great cause. What a great place. Go
I
you.
I love well, clearly we need to go to lunch there together sometime.
Indeed, because I've never been.
What?
I
Yes,
know.
we must go. And I
Okay.
also love Thistle Farms and didn't know that you also loved Thistle Farms. And of course we both do.
I do.
Yeah. So our listeners go look up Thistle Farms and look at all the great stuff they do. It's local Nashville, but I think it's global reaching now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can buy all of their amazing handmade products. Just fabulous stuff.
Okay. Well, Regina,
Yeah.
what are you doing to fill your cup?
Okay. Well, this week was Finnegan's 6th birthday. And we got him a guitar.
Oh my gosh.
I think that we're going to take family guitar lessons.
Stop it.
No, I think that we're going to become the Partridge family, except the Towdy family, because Oliver has a really cool ukulele, but I think we're all going to get guitars. Justin has a guitar. He doesn't know how to play. Finn now has a guitar. I think I'm going to order a guitar, and I think we are going to do family guitar lessons.
That is the coolest thing I have ever seen or ever heard. I'm so excited. I bet you can sing too.
It's not good, but I do it because I love it.
I bet you can sing.
It's
So,
just not great.
we have like 4 guitars and a banjo and a mandolin and a keyboard and all kinds of things because Tom Purdom, who wrote
He's
our
amazing.
who wrote our lovely welcome or our lovely intro music. Yes. So if you need any advice, you just let us know. And during the pandemic, a friend of mine, her husband is a musician and she can play the guitar. And every week they would do like a Facebook Live and they would have their kids sing whatever song it was and they would play guitar. And it was the cutest thing. I looked forward to it every week. So
Oh,
I'm going to expect Towdy Family live stream shows.
yeah, that's like 10 years away, but okay. Hey, do you play any of those stringed
Oh no.
instruments you mentioned?
Oh no. They're
Oh,
all Toms. We have like a Fender, a Telly, a Taylor. I don't know. Tom heard him last night at Jimmy Buffett though. It's like, oh my God, look at that guitar. It's a blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, and then he'd be like, look at that one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So it was funny. He loves the guitars.
God love him. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap us up. Jen, how can they find us?
Please find us on Instagram and Facebook at Leaderish Podcast and email us, please, at leaderishpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find Leaderish on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, all the places that you listen to podcasts. And, let's cheers to the end of languishing and hoping that others listening can find their way out of it if they are in it as well.
Oh, yes, Jen. Cheers.